Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Dharine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Vedanta Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay. All right. Can you hear me, Ram?
Yes, can you hear me? Hare Krishna.
Yes, but faintly.
Oh,
It's fine, you should just go with it.
Okay. Darbesha says that everything's good. I should just go with it.
yes, go with it.
Okay, so what we have here today, we would like to talk. The name of this talk, of course, talks have a name. The name of this talk is Please Accept My Blessings. Please accept my blessings.
All right.
Plural.
Right.
And so, Srila Prabhupada writes in his purport to Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, text number 72. In his purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, one can attain Krishna consciousness or divine life within a second. Or one may not attain such a state of life even after millions of births. It is only a matter of understanding and accepting the fact. Therefore, Now I'm speaking. We have to understand clearly that Krishna consciousness, this consciousness of Krishna, it cannot be earned. We can't earn it. We cannot attain Krishna consciousness by having a good score of rounds chanted, of temples opened, of books distributed, so many ways to have a good score. But this is not the way. These things, of course, they're helpful, but the real understanding of our Krishna consciousness philosophy is that Krishna consciousness cannot be earned. Like Srila Prabhupada says, one can attain Krishna consciousness within a second, or one may not attain it after millions of births. So the idea that it can be earned, it doesn't work this way. Krishna consciousness, how does it work? Krishna consciousness is not earned. Krishna consciousness has to be accepted, just like we were reading, that one can have this divine life in a second. It's only a matter of understanding and accepting. So, if there is acceptance, one can be Krishna conscious in a second. Real acceptance. And if we try to earn Krishna consciousness, we can continue for millions of births trying to have a good record, a good, like that. So, that one can attain Krishna consciousness or divine life within a second. Can one chant 16 rounds within 1 second? Can one distribute, say, 1,000 books in 1 second? Can one open a temple within 1 second? No, but Srila Prabhupada says one can attain Krishna consciousness or divine life at once, within a second. That it's only a matter of understanding and accepting the fact. So acceptance. Acceptance is the most essential ingredient in our cultivation of Krishna consciousness. So what is this acceptance? Srila Prabhupada has written so many hundreds or thousands, perhaps, of letters to his students. He begins every letter in the same way. My dear so-and-so, please accept my blessings. So, what is Srila Prabhupada? What is he blessing us with? What is Srila Prabhupada blessing us? He said, please accept my blessings, he's asking. He's blessing us with Krishna consciousness. How do we receive that blessing? We receive that blessing, how? By associating with Srila Prabhupada. Because Srila Prabhupada, he's Krishna conscious. In our last talk, we described in detail how one becomes Krishna conscious by the process of association with Krishna's pure devotee. every morning, this is how we receive Krishna consciousness. Every morning we sing Prema Bhaktiya Hoite Avidya Vinasha Yate. From him, translation, this love of Krishna, what? It emanates. It flows out of Srila Prabhupada. It fills the universe. It fills the atmosphere. So love of Krishna, this love of Krishna, it emanates from Srila Prabhupada. And it's free. It's free. And our business then is to accept it, to catch it, what does it mean? To imbibe the taste, the flavor, the feeling of the heart that is emanating from Srila Prabhupada. And not that when we say from him Krishna Prem emanates, we're not saying concepts or philosophy. We're saying that this feeling of love of Krishna, it emanates from Srila Prabhupada. And our business is to catch it. This is how we accept Krishna consciousness. So this is taste of Krishna consciousness. So Srila Prabhupada, he refers to this same process in his purport, Srimad Bhagavatam 1:5-25, first canto, 5th chapter, 25th verse. He says, the process, he refers to this process of acceptance, he says, the process of becoming infected with his devotional qualities, just like one becomes infected with an infectious disease. You associate with someone who has something like that, you catch. It's in the same way, if we associate, you pick up the mood, you pick up the feeling. Whoever you associate is going to affect our consciousness. So this is how we imbibe the taste of Krishna consciousness. Prema Bhakti Yaha Hoite. From him, this love of Krishna emanates, and our business is to become infected. There's no other way, actually, to become a Krishna consciousness. So, therefore, again, we sing every morning, Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma, that the lotus feet of our spiritual master is the only way by which we can acquire this taste, this demeanor of the heart, this taste of pure devotional service. And then we say, Jai Prasade Pure Sarva Asha. That attachment to his lotus feet. This is the perfection that fulfills all desires. So, how is his lotus feet? How attached to Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet do we have to become? So, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he writes in one bhajan in our songbook, Kabe Habe Bolo. And he writes, when, oh when, will I hold your feet until the end of time? When, oh when, will that day be mine? He understands, he's understanding that this is the only way one can become a devotee. And he knows, but he's feeling like he's one of us. He's taking the role that our minds and our hearts are going in so many different directions. So he's wondering, when will I have the intelligence, the determination, the desire so strong that I won't stop holding on to those lotus feet? So why do we wish to hold his lotus feet to our heart until the end of time? Because Premanjana Churita Bhaktivalochanena, because his eyes are tinged with the salve of love. Srila Prabhupada, a pure devotee of Krishna, Krishna's intimate, personal, confidential associate. He wears a kind of salve or cream of some kind on his eyes that when he looks through those eyes, he only sees with love of Krishna everything. Of course, this is poetic description, but is in our literature, Brahma Samhita, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Valochanena, that the pure devotee, his eyes are tinged with the salve of love. So if we can associate intimately with Krishna's pure devotee, we can catch some of that flavor. We can catch it, a taste of it. And we can catch it in our own heart. And there's no other way to get it, actually. According to all our Vedic literature, there's no way. One can do rules, regulations, ceremonies, rituals, austerities, penances, so many spiritual practices. But the only way to get this love of Krishna is by associating with someone who has mature love of Krishna so intimately that we can begin to feel in our heart what he's feeling in his heart. That's it. So, therefore, this relationship with our spiritual master, with Srila Prabhupada, it's a very personal relationship. It's an exchange of love. It is only when we love someone, it's only when we really love someone that we can begin to understand their heart. It's only when we really love someone that they begin to reveal to us their heart. What are their most intimate feelings? So, therefore, Krishna gives us a threefold formula in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 434, Tad Vidhi Pranipatena Paraprashnena Sevaya. He gives us this threefold formula of inquiry, submission, and service. 3. Inquiry, submission, and service. It's telling us how to approach Tattva Darshanaha, the self-realized soul who has the darshan of the supreme Tattva, the supreme absolute truth, Krishna. So he says, so what is the inquiry? In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the 12th chapter, Srila Prabhupada describes that in relationship with with the self-realized spiritual master, what is this inquiry? And what Srila Prabhupada says, this is step number 4 in the process of surrendering. In the process of surrender, there are different steps, like accepting a spiritual master, engaging in activities under his guidance, like that. So step number 4 in that is, quote, to inquire and to learn love from the spiritual master, unquote. This is the inquiry, an inquiry, submission, and service, that the disciple, the student, he inquires from what is this love of Krishna? I want to have some of this myself in my heart, in my life. Please help me, enable me to understand what is love of Krishna. What is this feeling of love of Krishna? So this is the meaning of inquiry. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that this is not enough. It's good to inquire, but what is the next step? The next step is submission. Unless there's submission, it's not possible to imbibe the taste of Srila Prabhupada's devotion. From him, this Krishna Prem emanates, this Krishna consciousness emanates, and submission means that we open our hearts to Srila Prabhupada so that we can begin to imbibe the taste of his devotion. This is submission. And this is how we accept Srila Prabhupada's blessings. He wants to share love of Krishna with us. Srila Prabhupada's heartfelt desire is to share his Krishna consciousness with us. Therefore he asks us, please accept my blessings. So let's discuss this process of submission. What does it mean? We understand inquiry. We're saying, what is this love of Krishna? I want a piece of the action. I want to taste it for myself. So submission, what is that submission? That, okay, it's one thing to ask, but we have to be able to receive. The door has to be open. The heart has to be open for that. From him this love emanates. It's going everywhere, filling the universe, but my heart has to be open to receive. And this is submission. So, what are the ingredients of the recipe for this cultivation of a submissive heart? So that we can begin to imbibe the taste of Srila Prabhupada's feelings of love of Krishna, love for Krishna. This is Lord Chaitanya's mercy. Srila Prabhupada's feelings of love for Krishna, this is Lord Chaitanya's mercy. But it's coming down to us through our parampara, through our disciplic succession. From, like the fruit on the top of the tree, there are many men on the ladder, and one is handing down the taste of that fruit which holds the taste from one hand to another hand to another hand. In this way, the acharya, the pure devotee, intimate associate of Krishna, he is distributing Lord Chaitanya's mercy to us. That is, so Lord Chaitanya, he's freely giving what no other incarnation has ever offered before. There's some different incarnations. They're giving a yoga system, Sankhya Yoga. They're giving rules and regulations. They're showing how to be in Varnashram. They're showing so many. When Lord Ram came, Sita Ram, he's showing how to be obedient, how to do his duty, so many things. But Lord Chaitanya, he's sharing how we can actually learn what is this feeling of love of God that exists in Krishna Loka. No other incarnation has ever offered such a thing. It's all explained in the 3-4 chapters of the Adi Leela. So if we can begin to inquire and we can be submissive, we can imbibe this taste of Krishna consciousness. The taste, and that, if we can do that, that taste will continue to expand within our heart. It says that one moment's association with a real devotee, you can get a little taste. It's a seed, and you water that seed. It grows into a creeper, devotional creeper, until it comes up to Krishna's lotus feet in the spiritual sky. So if we have association with a pure devotee, and if we actually have that inquiring mentality, that we're studying him, that inquiring mentality, what is this love of Krishna? I want some. It says, and if we're submissive enough, so we get a little taste in his association, and that's like a seed. We can carry that taste by remembrance, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, that Smaranam, to remember that taste that we acquired in the association of a pure devotee, that even for one moment, if we had that taste, by cultivating that taste, it can take us all the way back to Krishna Loka. Yeah. So it continues to expand in our heart as much as we cultivate it. The more we remember it, the more it grows. It's not static. The more we remember it, the more it expands in our heart. He's our eternal spiritual master. So,
Ishan Prabhu, just one quick note. It's saying remaining time 7 minutes and 25 seconds. So it's going to cut us off because they put me on a limited Zoom.
So then can we pick it up again?
Yeah, we'll pick it up again.
Okay, you tell me. I'll be obedient. So, therefore, Krishna describes this process in Bhagavad Gita 4:34 as the process of inquiry, submission, and service, that we want to know, we ask, we approach our spiritual master in our heart, in a humble state of mind, saying, please, I want to learn from you. Please share with me. And if we're submissive enough, open heart enough, then Srila Prabhupada shares his feeling with us. We can feel his presence. And then with that feeling in our heart, we engage in Krishna conscious activity. That's inquiry, submission, and service. And the more we cultivate That's called cultivation of that consciousness that we have received from our spiritual master. So now we know what inquiry means. And so so what is this process of submission? Let's take a closer look. There are different aspects of one. One aspect is to be peaceful in the heart. Another aspect is called nectar of instruction, to have confidence. Confidence means faith. Another aspect in nectar of instruction, enthusiasm. And another aspect that Srila Prabhupada described, joyfulness. So let's take a look at peacefulness. Of course, peacefulness is connected with joyfulness. We say Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma, Nasochati Nakangshati, that when the heart becomes joyful, Prasanatma, automatically, Nasochati Nakangshati, automatically there's no more hankering and no more lamentation. That is the secret of peacefulness. The secret of real peacefulness is when we become joyful within our heart. So this first quality, that we have to become peaceful, unless we're peaceful, sama, that's the first quality of the Brahman, described in Bhagavad Gita by Krishna, 1842. The heart will be disturbed by hankering and lamentation, this is passion and ignorance, unless we acquire this peacefulness quality. Therefore, we have to cultivate the Brahminical qualities. How to be self-satisfied. As a person who's not self-satisfied is going to look for his satisfaction in so many external things. Hey, I want this, I want that. For my eyes, for my ears, for my nose, for my stomach, my genital, everything. So, but if a person is self-satisfied, finding peacefulness within his own heart, na sochati na kangshati, he becomes joyful and he has no more external desires and no more lamentation. I lost this, I lost that. So that's peaceful. Repeatedly we read in our books that a Brahmin can become a Vaishnava. Is a person who has this quality of inner peace. He can take up this process of spiritual life. So, repeatedly, we read, because his heart is peaceful, he can be submissive. A person whose mind is all over the road, he can't be open-hearted enough. He's very contracted with his desires to attain this and that, and his lamentations to it because he's lost this and that, this didn't work out. So he cannot be submissive. He can't be open because he's got so many other anxieties, concerns. So this is required to become submissive. First quality. Next quality, confidence. This is given in Srila Rupa Goswami, Nectar of Instruction. Nishchayad, confidence, nishchayad. And so what is this confidence? Confidence means faith. We have faith that Srila Prabhupada is what? That he's omnipresent. He's everywhere. We have faith that our relationship with Srila Prabhupada is transcendental to considerations of time and space. That he was here and now he's not walking, we don't see. It's irrelevant. Srila Prabhupada is omnipresent, is the external manifestation of Krishna within everyone's heart. The bona fide Acharya is empowered by Krishna to assume the role of the all-pervasive Supersoul. So confidence means that we accept, we have faith that our relationship with Srila Prabhupada is transcendental to considerations of space and time. We have confidence that because we're Srila Prabhupada, as Srila Prabhupada writes in one of his letters, quote, "As you're always thinking of me, I'm always thinking of you." As Srila Prabhupada has thousands of disciples. But every one of us can have this personal relationship with Srila Prabhupada. We have confidence that Srila Prabhupada